going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Far Rock 22M, aka Infamous Owen, Infamous_Owen on IG. It's been a little while, you know what I'm saying? I've been working, trying to, do this job thing, whatever. And I kind of been slacking once again. But listen, we're on the beach right now. And this video is about the beach, especially Far Rockaway Beach. Now, I know summertime is coming. Weather's getting hot. You know what I'm saying? We just passed Memorial Day, so that means that legally the beaches are open. Now, there are some do's and there are some don'ts that will help you survive in this water and help you survive this summer if you decide to go to Rockaway Beach. Now, and I say survive is that a lot of people drown out here. A lot of people have drowned in Far Rockaway Beach, mostly every year. And it's sad to say is that a lot of times the victims who normally drown or be victims of that water, they're normally not from around here. They normally don't live near beaches or go to that. They don't have like a beach life, so they don't understand. You cannot play with that water. That's for one. Let me show you something. See how big those waves are? That one playing with their life out there, but they on the surfboard, so they must know something. Yeah, so I'm surprised people are actually in the water at this time, because in June that water is cold as hell. I remember one time me and my friend, God bless the dead, a couple friends, God bless the dead, man. My man Donnell, Darrell, I think he just got out. I gotta find him. But I remember one June. Around this time of year, it was like the hottest day of the year. We was probably like in 5th or 6th grade. Something we wasn't supposed to do, but we decided to have a beach day after school. And we jumped into that water. Like, first of all, we was already leery after we stick toe into the water, you know what I'm saying? And we like, I ain't gonna lie, that water kind of cold. So we was all kind of leery about jumping in. So what we did, we all held arms, and we was like, we're gonna do it at the same time. We did that. We jumped into that water, and we jumped the fuck out right away. It was so cold. Like when Leonardo DiCaprio was saying on the Titanic, it felt like a bunch of knives stabbing him. That water was cold. But anyway, yeah, here's some do's and don'ts. See, here's the thing, right? When you come to the beach, you make sure that there's a lifeguard nearby. Do not go into that water if there's no lifeguard on duty. Do not go into that water if there's red flags on the beach. You know what I'm saying? I understand that there's people out there that believe they could swim, and that's true. Some people can. But I'm going to just say it like it is. If you are not of like that surfer essence, or you are not a professional swimmer, don't play with that water. Do not be out there without a lifeguard. I even say even the lifeguards need a lifeguard for this water. You know what I'm saying? So, here's another do. Do for the out-of-towners. I know some people are going to hate me for this, but hey, it is what it is. Please, stay up the beach. Us in the lower end, we like our beach. We like our familiarity with people that we know. Most of us know each other down the way. The problem is, up the beach, this is where all the tourists come, which is cool, you know what I'm saying? So, everybody from Brooklyn, Bronx, other parts of Queens, they normally go anywhere from beach, I would say beach 60th and above. You know what I'm saying? But even beach 60th is still considered like the natives beach, you know what I'm saying? But most people I've seen get off at 60th and they'll start from there and go all the way up. But most of the times, I would say like beach 98th. That's the spot people really normally flock to. 96 to like 116th. That's where it's all good at. That's where it's all good at. You know what I'm saying? That's where you'll find a lot of people from out of town. You will find some Rockaway people up there too. Don't get it confused. But most of us, we really don't. If we go to the beach, we really go down the way. We go to like 20s and, beach 17, beach 19th and all of that. Most of us who's from down the way. You know what I'm saying? But, please just try to keep it up at the 70s and above for the out-of-towners, if you can. You know what I'm saying? 3, Whatever you got going on in your town, keep it in your town, please. I understand that there's things that go on out here and there's things that go on in other neighborhoods. But if you let it spill over here, that could be an issue. You know, we don't want nobody's problems spilling over into our, neighborhoods and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? If possible. I know sometimes it go down anywhere. But we're all here to have a good time. And there's families here, a bunch of families. People are here to have a good time. Nobody's not coming to the beach to try to cause harm or try to cause violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Look how peaceful it is out here. And come on, fellas. You got all the ladies out here. You know what I'm saying? And this is just June. But I'm just saying, And I'm surprised they're in that water. I'm surprised. Like I said, it's about fun out here. Things do happen. Do not get confused. Things do happen. But, it is what it is. Okay, I don't know if we had number 4 or whatever, but listen. Do not swim on the beach at night. Now, that kind of relates to not swimming on the beach without a lifeguard. But do not go into that water at night. Now, I understand a lot of things go down at the beach. There's a term called skinny dipping. And normally you should do that in lakes and pools and stuff like that. But in that water, you do not want to go skinny dipping. You know what I'm saying? You could get a little sand in your pants or whatever, but do not go into that water at night. I don't care if y'all had a little drink, a little smoke, and y'all feeling the vibe. Don't go into that water at night. Best you do, dip your toe in there. That's it. Keep it at your feet. Don't go into that water. Do not try to even go waist or, I'm just going to go to my knees. Don't do that. Do not do that. Because you don't know what kind of mood, what kind of tide is going on. You don't know what kind of animals or fish are lurking and bite your feet, or even it could be a drop. Because it could be a tide or something going on. And your ass get pulled in by the current. Just saying, worst case scenario. Do not go into that water at night. Okay, now, please, another thing. If you're coming out here to fish, there are secluded areas where you can fish. Please, do not throw any lines where you see people swimming at. I made that mistake one time when I used to go crabbing back in the days. Oh yeah, the lifeguard, he was not very happy with me. But that was like 12-year-old me, trying to catch some crabs. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. When you live in Rockaway, you live a beach life, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to try to swim. You're going to try to catch some crabs. You're going to go fishing. Even as a kid, this is what people did. But, just be mindful. If you're coming out here to fish, most people go to the bay. And if they don't go to the bay, they'll go all the way by Beach Knife, or they'll go to the secluded areas like in the 40s or the 30s. That's where they'll go fishing at. But they do not fish over here. You know what I'm saying? So, but, so there's not too many other things I could think of. You know what I'm saying? Also, when you're traveling into Far Rockaway, I suggest take the train. You know what I'm saying? Take the train. If you can drive, sometimes parking is a little hard to find, especially near the beaches, or especially near the popular beaches. It's not impossible, but if you could take the train, most of the times along 116th, 96 and all that, train is not far from the beach. So it's just a little stone throw away from the train station. The only thing is that, yeah, you got to take the shuttle from Bar Channel, but come on, you made it this far. So, and yeah, man, just come out here, have a good time. And that's what it's about. There's all kinds of people out here. We have parks. We got parks and all of that. This is B75th right here. I didn't even make it to the tourist area. And you still got people up here, you know what I'm saying? But also they got skating parks. They got all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? People got their little tents out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely going to be hearing a lot of planes when you're on this beach. People having a good time. And that's what it's really about over here, you know what I'm saying? Of course, there's negative stories about Far Rockaway, but for the most part, when you come to the beach, it's all about a good time. So, you know, I'm not going to say you're the safest in the beach, but for the most part, it's much safer over here. Because like I said, most people come over here for a good vibe. Like I said, when things happen, normally because two parties that don't agree with each other always clash. That's when it happens. But like I said, man, hopefully that doesn't happen this year. Hopefully everybody, follows the rules. I hope there's no drownings this year, man. Especially to the out of towns, because like I said, a lot of times, I'm not saying nobody hasn't ever drowned in Far Rockaway, but most of us who's lived here and been raised here, we almost had a drowning experience, if not a drowning experience. This is why we don't play with that water. Most of us had that probably at a single digit age, so we already know from jump, don't play with that water. You know what I'm saying? Most of us learned early. I don't have any friends that actually, drowned in that water, but I almost drowned in there. I've had people that almost died in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Whether they had to get rescued, somebody had to pull them in, or they end up finding their feet on the floor or some shit like that. Finding their feet on the floor, but finding the floor with their feet, and they just happen to make it. You know what I'm saying? So that's how that happens. Yo, good looking, brother. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so like I said, that's what it was about. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, not what it was about, but at the end of the day, people caught their feet, people got reeled in, or even the lifeguard saved them. But most of us had an experience out here when we almost drowned in that water, and this is why we don't play with it. And when we hear them helicopters during the day, or we hear about it on the news, we already know. Chances are it's not a person that's from Far Rockaway. It was always somebody that cut out of school somewhere, or snuck out and went along and hung out and decided they wanted to play with that water. They wanted to go out far. They wanted to, test the water. You don't do that. You don't test the waters, bro. You don't do that. Don't play with it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. Just wanted to give y'all a little info, put something out there, and make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. If you feel like donating, send something to Cash App, SandmanO, $ Cash App. That's SandMano. And most importantly, just like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? And y'all make sure y'all have a good one. Peace out.